All right, starting out, we're just going to make our standard Hello World program. Compile it. We can see Hello World prints just fine. And go through the lines quickly. We have the include IOStream using namespace std, int main, opening braces, cout hello world, return 0, closing braces. So the include directive up here is how you tell the compiler that you want to include files in your project. So the IOStream is a file that gives us the capabilities of using things like cout, which let us print stuff to the console and take in input, stuff like that. And the reason we write using namespace std is because cout is inside a namespace inside IOStream. And if you don't use this, then to call the functions, you actually have to prepend the function name with std : : So the standard namespace, it just looks something like this, and then all the functions are inside it. And the reason they put it inside a namespace instead of just leaving it out is to help you prevent naming collisions. So if you made your own cout function, for example, and you don't want to use the standard one, when you want to use theirs, you prepend it with std : : and then otherwise you just use your own function. Give you an example of this, getting a bit ahead, but so string is a data type which just stores a string of characters, so like letters, numbers, whatever. And so before cout was to print something, cin is to take something in from the console. So, not really a program that achieves much, but it'll help me get my point across. So if we type in something like, Frank prints out, but, Frank is cool. See, now we only get Frank. The reason for that is that this cin function that's inside the IOStream is very smart at picking out, it finds the correct data type to match what you're looking for, and then as soon as it runs into something that it's not looking for, it just stops and it leaves everything else inside the input buffer. So if we had another word, like string word 2, Frank Johnson, I'm only going to hit enter once, and it'll print them out side by side. That's because the previous Johnson was left inside the buffer, so I didn't have to type it again. Now this is a problem in cases where you actually want to take in spaces inside the string file. We have a function that does just that. So this getLine function allows us to take in spaces and it'll print it out. Now, one issue with the getLine function is the regular cin function finds the characters you're looking for and it leaves the rest inside. The getLine function will take in the entire line, meaning that it's looking for a character that's a new line character. So I'll give you an example. Now we'll take in a number and then we'll try to take in a word. So what happens now is I put in 15, for example, and I hit enter, the program just ends. The reason for that is that when I typed in 15, when I pushed my enter key, a new line, enter creates a new line, which is the computer views it as this character right here, this /n, which creates a new line. So when I hit enter at the end of 15, that new line character was at the end, and then we called getLine, and getLine will take everything up until it finds the new line character. But the very first thing it saw was the new line character, so it immediately just took that in, and that was it. We never actually got to put in things into our getLine. So the normal way to get around this is limits. So now we include limits, and we're saying we're going to ignore everything in the buffer, the input buffer, either up until the maximum possible size of the buffer or until we encounter the new line. So this should essentially clear the buffer completely and allow us to use both cin and getLine. So now type 15 is cool, and it works. So we took in a number, we ignored everything in the buffer, cleared it, took in a line, printed out that line with cout word. Now, it could get annoying typing in this command right here over and over again, or maybe you just wanted to create a different version of getLine. So let's say we do void getLine actually, let's do it a bit differently. So don't worry about how functions work just yet, but this is basically, we're taking the same name and we're going to use our function instead of the standard one. So now instead of all of this, every time we want to take in a line with spaces, we create a word. We can just say word equals getLine. That's the function we just made up here, and it gives us back a string. And should work identically. 15, John Doe, and it works. So sometimes you'll have conflicting names, like the standard library is going to have its own getLine function, and when you create your own, now this isn't going to work because my getLine doesn't exist, and it's going to look for the arguments you need to put in for the standard version of getLine that's inside the string file. So at the start, it's completely fine to use the standard library, but be aware that once you start creating projects that have a lot of files and you start making a lot of your own functions, it's really possible that the names that you pick will collide with the names that the people who made the standard library pick, and then the compiler is just going to pick a random one of your functions to call if you're using the namespace standard library and you're using your own functions defined in the same place. So to avoid ambiguity like that, sometimes it's good to have like your own functions in a namespace and then the standard namespace, and then you're very explicit about whose function you're calling each time. Yeah, that's about it for the basics. I guess I'll continue. Then we have return 0 here, the int main. This is the entry point for a program. So when I run a program, the first thing it does is it jumps to the int main, the first instruction here. Each statement or instruction ends with a semicolon. So the first thing we do here is we're creating an integer, which is just a whole number from negative 2 billion to positive 2 billion. We're just saying, give us space in memory to store an integer. And we're taking in for that variable we created it called number. We're asking the user to input something for number, and then we end the program. Because int is the type of function that main is, it needs to return something. So this is the standard successful program exit. So when you go through main, if everything goes correctly and then you get to return 0, it signifies the end of the program, and 0 means that everything executed fine and there were no errors or anything. It was a successful exit. So there you go. That's about it for the basics.